Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Surajo of Movie Musings, and today I'll be reviewing Margin Call, which was released Friday, October 21st of 2011. And it's starring Kevin Spacey, Paul Bettany, Jeremy Irons, Zachary Quinto, Penn Badgley, Simon Baker, Demi Moore, and Stanley Tucci. So the genre is a suspense, and I think it is considered an art house film. And the official synopsis is set in a high-stakes world of the financial industry. Margin Call is a thriller entangling the key players at an investment firm during one perilous 24-hour period in the early stages of the 2008 financial crisis. The synopsis goes on to read more. It's more lengthy than that, but I'm just going to pretty much sum up what the plot of the story was. It was kind of mimicking the firms like Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers, who had toxic assets on their balance sheets, and by toxic assets I mean the mortgage-backed securities. And we all know that was the major cause of the financial crisis, was that all these companies were leveraged up, and they were leveraged up with these mortgage-backed securities that were kind of like backed by consumers who had mortgages, but the consumers didn't really have the cash to be able to afford the mortgages. So in essence, the entire mortgage is worthless because the person who has inherited the debt can't actually afford to pay the debt. So this company that Kevin Spacey's character works for, ignore the birds. This company that Kevin Spacey's character worked for, they laid off a key risk analyst at the company who was in the process of discovering that their company was highly levered, and a 12% shift against them would pretty much bankrupt the entire company. So what do? They have a moral dilemma. Do they act in favor as agents of the corporation? Do they act in favor of the corporation, or as agents of, I guess, humanity? Do they act in favor of humanity? And it's kind of like when that happens, the individual kind of doesn't realize what is good and what is wrong, because you kind of have to analyze it from a utilitarian point of view. If you're an employee at a company, it is your duty, and you are bound by your duty to that company to act in favor of that company. But on the flip side, acting in favor for that company is pretty much screwing everybody else that's outside the company. And that's the moral dilemma that the main character, I would say, Kevin Spacey, was faced with. Obviously, we all know that these companies, these perpetrators like Lehman Brothers and such, were acting in their favor for the majority of the part and didn't really consider the outside world. They didn't really act in favor of the outside world. So if they had these mortgage-backed securities on their balance sheets and they wanted to get rid of it, that's exactly what they did, got rid of it. And that's exactly what was done in this movie. It's a mirror. I would say this movie is kind of like mirroring Wall Street 2, Money Never Sleeps, because Wall Street 2, Money Never Sleeps, there's a firm in that movie as well that mirrors the events that occurred, specifically with Lehman Brothers. And this movie is kind of the same way. It mirrors the events that occur, I would say, with Lehman Brothers at best. So overall, what would I rate the movie? I would give it a B. I honestly expected more of it, but it kind of fell short. It kind of fell short of my expectations. I thought it was going to be actually more high intense drama, but it wasn't. And I actually liked Wall Street 2, Money Never Sleeps better than Margin Call. Only because Margin Call, I guess because they were trying to appeal to a bigger audience. They didn't really get into specifics, and there was a lot of ambiguity. If you don't understand the things that go on with these kind of trades and things like that, you're kind of I would imagine that you're kind of left there trying to figure out what was going on, because in the finance world they use a whole lot of acronyms, and the regular in industries, acronyms are designed so that the people outside the industry don't understand it. And this movie, they used a whole bunch of acronyms, and if you don't know what those acronyms mean, you're not gonna really understand the extent of what was going on in this movie. So overall, I would rate it a B. I think it's a movie that you would watch at home. I wouldn't suggest that you spend your dollars to go see it, because it's kind of like, you know, a Saturday night movie. If it comes on TV, you watch it or something like that, or something that you probably check out on Netflix. So yeah, overall, I'd rate it a B. The performance was good. You know, all the actors' performances were good, but great. But the story was just lacking. So that's my review. Thank you for checking us here at Movie Musings, and please come again. Bye bye.